She hugged a stranger to avoid her toxic ex unaware. He was a millionaire CEO who'd fall for her. When Emma Chen grabbed a stranger in a crowded Seattle market and begged him to pretend to be her boyfriend, she had no idea she was hugging Marcus Sterling, billionaire CEO, notorious workaholic, and a man who hadn't felt genuine human connection in years. She just needed to escape her toxic ex. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Neither of them expected that one desperate hug would change everything. Before we dive into this incredible story, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our heartwarming stories. The Pike Place market was packed with Saturday morning shoppers when Emma spotted him, Ryan, her ex-boyfriend who'd spent 2 years chipping away at her self-esteem, controlling every aspect of her life and somehow convincing her it was love. She'd finally escaped 6 months ago, moved apartments, changed her number, blocked him everywhere. But there he was, weaving through the crowd, that familiar predatory look in his eyes as he scanned the market. Her heart hammered against her ribs. The flower stall she'd been browsing suddenly felt like a trap. Ryan was between her and the main exit, getting closer with each second. She could see him asking vendors questions, probably describing her. The elderly woman selling tulips gave Emma a concerned look. "You okay, dear?" Emma's voice cracked. Ryan was only 3 stalls away now. 2. He'd see her any second. That's when she spotted the man at the coffee stand, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing an expensive-looking grey coat despite the casual setting. He was alone, checking his phone while waiting for his order, completely unaware of the drama unfolding nearby. Something about his presence, solid, safe, commanding, made her move without thinking. Emma practically ran to him, her sundress fluttering as she dodged shoppers. The stranger looked up just as she reached him, his blue eyes widening in surprise. "Please," she whispered urgently, glancing back to see Ryan scanning her previous location. "I'm so sorry, but could you just—" Without finishing the sentence, she wrapped her arms around him, pressing her face against his chest. He smelled like expensive cologne and coffee, and his body went rigid with shock. "Please," she whispered against his coat. "My ex is here. He's dangerous. Just for a minute. Please pretend you know me." For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then, miraculously, his arms came around her. Not the loose, awkward embrace she'd expected from a stranger, but something protective, secure. "Emma," he said, loud enough to carry, his voice deep and somehow authoritative. "There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you." She pulled back slightly, staring up at him in shock. He knew her name, but his eyes, sharp, intelligent, the color of a winter sky, held a message. "Play along." "The flower vendor," he said quietly, barely moving his lips. "She called you by name when you were browsing. I heard her." This stranger was observant and quick. "Marcus," she forced brightness into her voice, hoping Ryan could hear. "I'm sorry. I got distracted by the tulips. You always do." The man, Marcus apparently, smiled down at her with such genuine warmth that for a moment she forgot he was a stranger. His hand came up to brush a strand of hair from her face, the gesture so natural, so intimate, that her breath caught. "Did you find the ones you wanted for your sister's wedding?" Sister's wedding. He was building a story, giving them history. Emma felt a rush of gratitude so strong it made her eyes burn. Not yet. They didn't have the coral ones she wanted. She was amazed at how easily the lie came. "Maybe we should try the other vendor." In a minute. His arm stayed around her waist, and he shifted slightly, angling his body to shield her from view. "My coffee's almost ready. You know how I am before caffeine." That's when she saw Ryan approaching, his face dark with the anger she remembered too well. Her body tensed involuntarily, and Marcus must have felt it because his hold tightened fractionally. "Emma!" Ryan's voice cut through the market noise like a blade. "We need to talk." She felt Marcus assess the situation in an instant. The way Ryan's fists were clenched, the aggressive stance, the barely controlled rage. Without missing a beat, Marcus extended his free hand. "I don't believe we've met. Marcus Sterling." His tone was pleasant, but there was steel underneath. "And you are?" Ryan ignored the hand. "I'm her boyfriend." "Ex-boyfriend," Emma corrected, finding her voice. "Very ex." "We had a misunderstanding," Ryan said, his eyes never leaving Emma's face. "We need to discuss it, privately." "I don't think so." Marcus's voice remained calm, but his body language shifted subtly, protective, immovable. "Emma and I have plans today." "Emma doesn't have plans with anyone named Marcus." Ryan stepped closer. "I know everything about her life." "Funny how things change in 6 months," Marcus said mildly. "People move on, meet new people, find happiness." He looked down at Emma with such tenderness it made her chest tight. "Isn't that right, sweetheart?" "Yes." Her voice came out stronger than expected. "I've moved on, Ryan. Please leave me alone." "You heard her." Marcus's pleasant tone never wavered, but something in his posture made Ryan step back. Maybe it was the way he held himself, confident, controlled, like someone used to being obeyed. Or maybe it was the subtle warning in his eyes. "This isn't over," Ryan said, but he was already retreating. "We're not done, Emma." "Yes, you are," Marcus said quietly. "And if I see you bothering her again, we're going to have a very different kind of conversation, one involving lawyers and restraining orders. Are we clear?" Ryan's face flushed dark red, but something about Marcus, maybe the mention of lawyers, maybe the casual authority, made him think better of responding. He shot Emma one last venomous look before disappearing into the crowd. Emma stayed frozen in Marcus's embrace for several long moments, watching the spot where Ryan had vanished, waiting for him to reappear. Her whole body was shaking. "He's gone," Marcus said gently. "But let's stay here a bit longer, just to be sure." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. I just saw him and panicked, and you were there, and it's okay." His voice was soothing. "You did the smart thing. Are you all right?" She realized she was still clinging to him, her fingers twisted in his expensive coat. "Oh God, I'm so sorry." She started to pull away, but he kept one arm around her. "Don't apologize, and don't pull away yet. He might still be watching." He glanced around the market with practiced ease. "Why don't we get that coffee and walk around a bit? Make sure he's really gone. You don't have to, as I know." He smiled down at her, and she noticed he had a dimple in his left cheek. "But I'm not leaving you alone until we're sure you're safe. Besides, you've already ruined my Saturday morning routine. Might as well see it through." Despite everything, Emma found herself almost smiling. "Ruined your routine?" "Completely. I usually drink my coffee in peaceful, stranger-hugging-free solitude." His eyes crinkled at the corners. "This is much more interesting." The barista called out an order, some complicated drink with multiple modifications, and Marcus claimed it with his free hand. "That's a very high-maintenance coffee order," Emma observed, grateful for the distraction from her still racing heart. "Says the woman who just used me as a human shield." But his tone was teasing, gentle. "Can you walk? Or do you need to sit for a minute?" "I can walk." She finally stepped out of his embrace, immediately missing the warmth and safety. "Thank you, really. I don't know what would have happened if... Don't think about it." He offered her his arm, an oddly old-fashioned gesture that somehow felt perfect. "Tell me about the sisters' wedding we invented. When is it?" Emma found herself taking his arm, letting him lead her through the market. "You're very good at this. Do you often pretend to be women's boyfriends?" "First time, actually, but I've negotiated a lot of hostile takeovers. Same basic principle, stay calm, control the narrative, don't show weakness." He sipped his coffee. "Though I have to say, this was more interesting than most board meetings." "Hostile takeovers?" She looked up at him more carefully. The expensive coat, the perfect haircut, the way he'd mentioned lawyers so casually. "What do you do?" "Nothing as interesting as being your fake boyfriend, apparently." He steered her around a group of tourists. "How long has he been bothering you?" "We broke up 6 months ago. I thought I'd gotten away clean." Changed everything. Moved across town. I haven't seen him since. She shivered. I can't believe he found me. Has he done this before? Shown up unexpectedly? A few times, right after. But not in months. I thought he'd given up. Marcus was quiet for a moment, his expression thoughtful. You should consider a restraining order. I tried. The police said without proof of physical violence. She shrugged, the helpless gesture saying everything. The legal system can be frustratingly limited. He paused at a flower stall, not the one she'd been at before. What about those coral tulips for your fictional sister? You remember that detail? I have a good memory for stories I help create. He nodded to the vendor. Do you have coral tulips? The vendor, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, shook her head. Not coral, but I have these beautiful peach ones. Close enough? What do you think? Marcus asked Emma. Will your sister forgive the substitution? Emma found herself playing along, the normalcy of it soothing her frayed nerves. She's very particular about her wedding colors. All brides are? The vendor wrapped a generous bunch. These will photograph beautifully. Marcus paid before Emma could protest, handing her the flowers with a small bow. For your excellent performance. You didn't have to. Consider it a thank you for the most interesting Saturday I've had in years. He checked his watch. Expensive, she noticed. Everything about him seemed expensive. Are you feeling better? Yes, thank you. I should let you get back to your morning. Actually, he hesitated, and for the first time seemed uncertain. Have you eaten? There's a good breakfast place around the corner. Very public, lots of people. Safe. Emma's stomach chose that moment to growl audibly. She hadn't eaten, too excited about her first free Saturday in weeks to bother with breakfast. I couldn't impose more than I already have. You're not imposing. I'm inviting. He smiled, that dimple appearing again. Besides, I'm curious about the woman who hugs strangers in markets. Seems like there's a story there. Not a very interesting one. I'll be the judge of that. He offered his arm again. Come on, let me buy you breakfast. Consider it payment for improving my boring Saturday. Emma knew she should say no. He'd already done more than enough, and she didn't even know him. But something about Marcus Sterling made her feel safe in a way she hadn't in a very long time. Maybe it was the way he'd immediately understood the situation and played along. Maybe it was how he'd stood up to Ryan without escalating to violence. Or maybe it was just that he was looking at her like she was a person worth protecting, not a possession to control. Okay, she heard herself say. Breakfast sounds good. The restaurant was exactly as he'd described. Bright, busy, safe. Marcus guided her to a corner booth where she could see all the entrances, a thoughtful gesture that made her throat tight. So, he said after they'd ordered, pancakes for her and egg white omelette for him, tell me about Emma of the coral tulips and the toxic ex. Not much to tell. Classic story. Girl meets boy. Boy seems charming. Boy turns out to be controlling and manipulative. Girl finally finds courage to leave. She shredded a napkin nervously. I'm usually smarter than that. Intelligence has nothing to do with it. People like him are experts at manipulation. His voice held an unexpected edge. My sister went through something similar. Took her 3 years to get out. Is she okay now? Married to a great guy who treats her like gold. 2 kids. Happy. He smiled. Though she did make me promise to vet all future boyfriends, I'm apparently intimidating. You? Intimidating? The man who pretended to be my boyfriend without blinking? Emma found herself relaxing. Never. You'd be surprised. I've been told I have resting CEO face. Is that like resting bitch face but for business? Exactly. Very useful in board meetings, less helpful in social situations. He paused as their food arrived. What do you do, Emma, of the excellent hugging skills? She laughed, surprising herself. I'm a graphic designer, freelance mostly. You? Nothing as creative as that. Just boring business stuff. Hostile takeovers don't sound boring. They're actually very boring. Lots of spreadsheets and lawyers and people in suits arguing about numbers. He cut into his omelette precisely. Your work sounds much more interesting. It's okay. I get to be creative, set my own hours, though lately I've been... She trailed off. Been what? Hiding, I guess. Taking on fewer clients, avoiding networking events, basically letting Ryan control my life even after he's gone. The admission came out bitter. You're not hiding today. No, I suppose not. She looked at him across the table, this stranger who'd become her protector without question. Thank you, by the way, not just for playing along, but for all of it. The breakfast, making me feel normal again. You are normal, he's the one with problems. Marcus's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, frowned, but didn't pick it up. Sorry, work never stops. You should take it if you need to. I really shouldn't. I'm having breakfast with my girlfriend, remember? He winked and her stomach did a little flip that had nothing to do with fear. She gets upset when I work during dates. Very high maintenance, your girlfriend. The highest. She makes me eat real food instead of protein bars and everything. They fell into easy conversation, and Emma found herself telling him things she hadn't told anyone, how isolated she'd become during the relationship, how hard it was to trust her own judgment now, how she jumped at shadows and checked locks obsessively. The worst part is how he made me feel like I was crazy, she admitted, pushing pancake pieces around her plate. Anytime I questioned him or set a boundary, he'd twist it around until I was apologizing. Gaslighting, Marcus said quietly. Classic emotional abuse tactic. You sound like you know a lot about it. I told you, my sister. I did a lot of research trying to understand. His jaw tightened. Wanted to break his face, but she made me promise to let her handle it her way. You're a good brother. I try. He signaled for more coffee. What about you? Family. Parents in California. They never liked Ryan, which of course made me defend him harder. She sighed. They've been great since the breakup, but I can see the "I told you so" in their eyes. They're probably just relieved you're safe. Maybe. She watched him doctor his coffee with precise amounts of cream and sugar. Can I ask you something? Shoot. Why did you help me? Most people would have pushed away the crazy woman grabbing them. Marcus considered the question, stirring his coffee slowly. Honestly, you looked terrified, and the way you said please, I have a sister, remember? I'd want someone to help her. Still, going above and beyond. Maybe I needed an adventure, he smiled. My Saturdays are usually pretty predictable. Work, gym, more work. This is much better. Glad my drama could entertain you. That's not... He stopped, seeing her small smile. You're teasing me. A little. You're easy to tease. So I've been told. His phone buzzed again. This time he turned it completely off. There, no more interruptions. That seemed decisive. I'm practicing this new thing called work-life balance. I'm terrible at it. How's it going so far? Well, I'm having breakfast with a beautiful woman instead of reviewing contracts, so I'd say it's improving. He said it casually, but Emma felt heat rise in her cheeks. Smooth, she managed. I have my moments. He leaned back, studying her. What are your plans for the rest of the day, besides avoiding the market? I hadn't really... I was just going to get flowers and go home. The thought of her empty apartment, of jumping at every sound, made her stomach clench. Would you like company? We could do something very public and very distracting. He held up a hand before she could protest. Not a date, just two people who've already shared a traumatic bonding experience hanging out. You don't have to babysit me. I'm not. I'm selfishly avoiding the stack of contracts waiting in my home office. He grinned. Come on, help me procrastinate. When's the last time you did something just for fun? Emma tried to remember. Everything in the last 2 years had been filtered through Ryan's approval. Even the 6 months since had been about survival, not enjoyment. I can't remember, she admitted. Then it's settled. We're having an adventure. He signaled for the check. What sounds fun? Museum, movie, Pike Place throwing fish. We were just at Pike Place. But we didn't see the fish throwing, very important Seattle tourist activity. You're not a tourist. I might as well be. I've lived here 5 years and never done half the tourist stuff. He paid the bill, waving off her protests. Executive decision. We're being tourists today. Do CEOs usually make executive decisions about tourism? He froze slightly. Who said I was a CEO? You did. Resting CEO face, remember? She tilted her head. Plus the hostile takeovers, the expensive everything, the way you turned off what was clearly an important call, either CEO or mob boss, and you seemed too nice for organized crime. Seems too nice. I'll put that on my business cards. He stood, offering her his hand. Come on, tourist buddy, let's go see some fish fly. They spent the afternoon doing every touristy thing Seattle had to offer. The fish market, where Marcus somehow got pulled into catching a thrown salmon and nearly dropped it, making Emma laugh so hard she cried. The Space Needle, where he admitted to a fear of heights but went up anyway because she wanted to see the view. The Chihuly Garden, where the colored glass made rainbow patterns on her skin that he said looked like art itself. Somewhere between the second and third tourist trap, Emma realized she hadn't thought about Ryan in hours. Marcus had a gift for distraction, keeping up a steady stream of conversation, terrible jokes, and surprisingly accurate historical facts about Seattle. How do you know all this? She asked as he explained the underground city tour they were about to take. I read a lot. Occupational hazard of too many flights. He bought their tickets. Also, I might have Wikipedia'd Seattle tourism while you were in the restroom. You researched our spontaneous adventure. I like to be prepared. It's a character flaw. He guided her into the underground entrance. My therapist says I have control issues. You have a therapist. Doesn't everyone? He seemed genuinely surprised. Best investment I ever made. Well, second best. The best was buying Amazon stock in 2001. Humble brag much? Sorry, another character flaw. I'm collecting them. The underground tour was delightfully cheesy, full of bad jokes and exaggerated history. Marcus played along with enthusiasm, asking the guide ridiculous questions that made the whole group laugh. Emma found herself watching him more than the tour, fascinated by this man who could shift from boardroom intimidating to tourist goofy in seconds. You're staring, he murmured, during a particularly boring stretch about sewage systems. You're interesting, she replied without thinking, then blushed. Interesting good or interesting like a car accident? Good. Definitely good. His smile was different this time, softer, real. You're pretty interesting yourself, Emma Chen. How do you know my last name? Your credit card at breakfast. Also a very observant person, remember? He turned his attention back to the guide, but she caught him glancing at her throughout the rest of the tour. By late afternoon, they were at the waterfront, eating ice cream and watching the ferries. Emma's feet hurt from walking, but she felt lighter than she had in months. Thank you, she said suddenly, for all of this, for making me remember what fun feels like. Thank you for giving me an excuse to avoid work. He checked his watch, that expensive one she'd noticed earlier. Speaking of which, I should probably face the music soon. Can I drive you home? Reality crashed back. Home, alone. Where Ryan might be waiting. Marcus must have seen something in her face because he added quickly, or we could grab dinner first. I know a place that makes amazing Thai food. Very spicy. Good for courage. You don't have to keep, I know I don't have to, but I'm having the best day I've had in years, and I'm not ready for it to end. He stood, offering his hand again. Besides, you haven't told me about your design work yet. I'm genuinely curious. Dinner turned into dessert, which turned into coffee, which turned into a walk along the waterfront as the sun set. They talked about everything. Her work, his company, tech-related he admitted but stayed vague on details, books, movies, travel dreams. Paris, Emma said when he asked where she'd most like to visit. Cliché, I know. Not cliché. Classic. I go there for work sometimes. It's beautiful. He paused. You should go. Don't wait for someday. Easy for you to say. International business travel and all. I meant what I said. Life's too short to wait for someday. Something flickered across his face. Sadness? Regret? But it was gone before she could identify it. Finally, As the sky turned purple and the city lights began to twinkle, he drove her home. Emma's anxiety returned as they approached her building, her eyes scanning for Ryan's familiar car. "He's not here," Marcus said quietly, doing his own scan. "But I'm going to walk you up anyway." "You don't... Emma." He turned to face her fully. "Let me make sure you're safe." "Please." She nodded, throat tight. They walked up to her third-floor apartment in comfortable silence. At her door, she fumbled with her keys, suddenly nervous for different reasons. "Would you like to exchange numbers?" Marcus asked. "In case he shows up again, or if you just need someone to talk to." "I'd like that." She handed him her phone, watched him program his number in. He called himself, then saved her number in his phone. "There, now you have backup." He handed her phone back. "Lock the door behind you. Check the windows. And Emma? Don't hesitate to call if you need anything, even if it's just because you're scared." "Why are you being so nice to me?" He considered the question. "Because you hugged a stranger when you were terrified. Because you laughed at my bad jokes all day. Because you made me remember there's a world outside conference rooms." He smiled. "Because sometimes people just connect. Is that okay?" "More than okay." She unlocked her door, then turned back impulsively and hugged him again. This time not in fear but in gratitude. "Thank you, Marcus Sterling, for everything." "Anytime, Emma Chen." He hugged her back, then stepped away. "Sweet dreams, and remember, anytime, any reason." She watched him walk away, then locked herself in, checking windows and doors as he'd suggested. Her apartment felt different somehow, less like a prison, more like a sanctuary. Her phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. "Home safe? Also, I forgot to mention, you give excellent hugs, 5 stars, would recommend." She laughed, typing back, "Safe and locked in. You're not a bad hugger yourself. 4.5 stars. Only 4.5. What did I lose points for? Your cologne is too expensive. Made me feel underdressed. Note to self, cheaper cologne for next time." Next time. The words made her smile as she got ready for bed. For the first time in months, she didn't triple-check the locks or jump at every sound. Instead, she fell asleep thinking about blue eyes and bad jokes and the way Marcus Sterling had made her feel like herself again. She woke to her phone ringing at 2 a.m. Unknown number. Her heart raced as she answered. "Hello? You think you're so smart." Ryan's voice, slurred with alcohol. "With your new boyfriend, Marcus Sterling." Her blood went cold. "How did you get this number?" "I have my ways. Just like I know he's not really your boyfriend. No pictures of you online, no social media connections. You just met him today." "Ryan, shut up, I'm talking." His voice got harder. "You belong to me, Emma. And if I can't have you, no one can. Especially not some rich, pretty boy. Leave me alone." She tried to sound strong, but her voice shook. "Or what? You'll call your fake boyfriend? I know where you live, Emma. I know where you work. I know everything." The line went dead. Emma sat in the dark, shaking. Without thinking, she called the first number in her recent calls. "Emma," Marcus answered on the second ring, alert despite the hour. "What's wrong?" "He called. Ryan. He knows about you. Knows we just met. He's drunk and angry and..." Her voice broke. "I'm on my way. Pack a bag." "What?" "Pack a bag. You're not staying there tonight." She heard movement, keys jingling. "Are your doors locked?" "Yes." "Good. Stay on the phone with me. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Marcus, you don't have to..." "Yes, I do. Pack now." Something in his voice made her move. She threw clothes into a bag, grabbed her laptop and chargers, all while Marcus talked to her, his voice steady and calming. "Tell me about your latest design project," he said. "What?" "Distraction. Tell me what you're working on." So she did, describing the logo redesign for a local brewery while she packed. His questions kept her focused, stopped her from panicking. "I'm outside," he said finally. "Can you see my car from your window?" She peered out. A sleek black Tesla sat at the curb, Marcus visible in the driver's seat. Yes. Good. I'm going to come up. Don't open the door until you hear my voice. 3 minutes later, his knock came. Emma, it's me. She yanked open the door and practically fell into his arms. He was wearing pajama pants and a t-shirt. His hair mussed from sleep, but he held her steady. You're okay, he murmured. Let's get you out of here. Where are we going? My place. I have a guest room and excellent security. He took her bag. We'll deal with the police in the morning. Tonight, you need somewhere safe. She should protest. She'd known this man less than 24 hours. But every instinct said to trust him, and her instincts had saved her once today already. The drive to his place was quiet. Marcus lived in a high-rise downtown, all glass and steel and modern security. The doorman nodded respectfully as they passed. Mr. Sterling, evening. Hi, George. This is Emma. She'll be staying in the guest suite. Of course, sir. Welcome, miss. The elevator required a key code. The penthouse, because of course it was a penthouse, was exactly what she'd expected. Modern, minimalist, floor-to-ceiling windows, showcasing the Seattle skyline. Guest rooms this way, Marcus said, leading her down a hall. Full bath, fresh towels in the closet, kitchen stocked if you get hungry. The guest room was bigger than her entire apartment, with its own sitting area and spectacular view. Marcus, this is safe, he finished. That's all that matters right now. He set her bag down. Try to get some sleep. We'll deal with everything in the morning. Why are you doing this? He paused in the doorway. Because everyone deserves to feel safe, Emma, and because... He seemed to struggle for words. Because something about you makes me want to be better than I usually am. Before she could respond, he was gone, closing the door softly behind him. Emma sat on the bed, king-sized of course, and tried to process the last 24 hours. This morning she'd been alone, afraid, trying to buy flowers. Now she was in a penthouse guest room, under the protection of a man who'd started as a stranger and become, what? Friend, protector, something more. Her phone buzzed. Marcus. Kitchen is down the hall to the left. Help yourself to anything. Also, my sister says I should tell you there's pepper spray in the nightstand drawer. She insisted I put it in all the guest rooms after her experience. Then another. That probably sounds creepy. I promise I'm not a weirdo. Just have an overprotective sister who thinks everyone should be armed. Emma found herself smiling despite everything. She typed back, tell your sister thank you, and thank you, for everything. I don't know how to repay you. No repayment necessary, just get some sleep, you're safe here. Safe? When was the last time she'd felt truly safe? She changed into pajamas, washed her face, and climbed into the impossibly comfortable bed. Through the windows, Seattle glittered like a jewelry box. Somewhere out there, Ryan was probably raging, but here, 30 floors up, with Marcus Sterling somewhere in this apartment, she felt protected. Her phone showed one more text from Marcus. Sweet dreams, Emma. Tomorrow we make sure he never bothers you again. Finally, as the sky turned purple and the city lights began to twinkle, he drove her home. Emma's anxiety returned as they approached her building, her eyes scanning for Ryan's familiar car. He's not here, Marcus said quietly, doing his own scan. But I'm going to walk you up anyway. You don't... Emma. He turned to face her fully. Let me make sure you're safe. Please. She nodded, throat tight. They walked up to her third-floor apartment in comfortable silence. At her door, she fumbled with her keys, suddenly nervous for different reasons. Would you like to exchange numbers? Marcus asked. In case he shows up again. Or if you just need someone to talk to. I'd like that. She handed him her phone, watched him program his number in. He called himself, then saved her number in his phone. There, now you have backup. He handed her phone back. Lock the door behind you, check the windows. And Emma, don't hesitate to call if you need anything, even if it's just because you're scared. Why are you being so nice to me? He considered the question. Because you hugged a stranger when you were terrified. Because you laughed at my bad jokes all day. Because you made me remember there's a world outside conference rooms. He smiled. Because sometimes people just connect. Is that okay? More than okay. She unlocked her door, then turned back impulsively and hugged him again. This time not in fear but in gratitude. "Thank you, Marcus Sterling, for everything." "Any time, Emma Chen." He hugged her back, then stepped away. "Sweet dreams. And remember, any time, any reason." She watched him walk away, then locked herself in, checking windows and doors as he'd suggested. Her apartment felt different somehow, less like a prison, more like a sanctuary. Her phone buzzed, a text from Marcus. "Home safe? Also, I forgot to mention, you give excellent hugs. 5 stars. Would recommend." She laughed, typing back, "Safe and locked in. You're not a bad hugger yourself. 4.5 stars. Only 4.5? What did I lose points for? Your cologne is too expensive, made me feel underdressed. Note to self, cheaper cologne for next time. Next time." The words made her smile as she got ready for bed. For the first time in months, she didn't triple-check the locks or jump at every sound. Instead, she fell asleep thinking about blue eyes and bad jokes, and the way Marcus Sterling had made her feel like herself again. She woke to her phone ringing at 2 a.m. Unknown number. Her heart raced as she answered. "Hello? You think you're so smart?" Ryan's voice slurred with alcohol. "With your new boyfriend, Marcus Sterling." Her blood went cold. "How did you get this number?" "I have my ways, just like I know he's not really your boyfriend. No pictures of you online, no social media connections. You just met him today." "Ryan, shut up, I'm talking." His voice got harder. "You belong to me, Emma. And if I can't have you, no one can. Especially not some rich pretty boy. Leave me alone." She tried to sound strong, but her voice shook. "Or what? You'll call your fake boyfriend? I know where you live, Emma. I know where you work. I know everything." The line went dead. Emma sat in the dark, shaking. Without thinking, she called the first number in her recent calls. "Emma?" Marcus answered on the second ring, alert despite the hour. "What's wrong?" "He called. Ryan. He knows about you, knows we just met. He's drunk and angry and—" Her voice broke. "I'm on my way, pack a bag." "What?" "Pack a bag. You're not staying there tonight." She heard movement, keys jingling. "Are your doors locked?" "Yes." She fell asleep believing him. Morning came with sunlight streaming through those massive windows and the smell of coffee. Emma followed the scent to find Marcus in the kitchen, dressed for work, but cooking breakfast. "Morning," he said, smiling. "How do you like your eggs?" "You cook?" "I'm a man of hidden talents." He gestured to a stool at the island. "Sit, coffee." "Please." She watched him move around the kitchen with surprising competence. "Did you sleep at all?" "A bit. I had some calls to make." "Calls?" "It's 7 a.m. To my lawyer. She's in New York, 3 hours ahead." He plated eggs and toast with efficient movements. "We're filing for an emergency restraining order today. She's already started the paperwork." "Marcus, I can't afford—" "You're not paying. Consider it a gift from someone who hates bullies." He set the plate in front of her. "Eat. We have a busy day." "We?" "You didn't think I was sending you to deal with this alone, did you?" He poured orange juice. "I cleared my schedule." "You can't just clear your schedule for someone you met yesterday." "Watch me." He sat across from her with his own plate. "Emma, what Ryan is doing is serious. Stalking, harassment, threats. You need legal protection and you need someone in your corner who he can't intimidate." "And that's you?" "That's me." He smiled, but it was sharp. "I told you I do hostile takeovers for a living. Your ex-boyfriend is about to learn what that really means." After breakfast, they went to the police station. Marcus had somehow arranged for a detective to be waiting, and his lawyer, a terrifyingly competent woman named Patricia, appeared with a file full of documentation Emma didn't even know existed. "Mr. Sterling had me pull your phone records," Patricia explained. "Every call, every text from Ryan's various numbers. We also have the security footage from Pike Place yesterday, showing him approaching you aggressively." "How did you—" "I have resources," Marcus said simply, "and I believe in being thorough." The detective took Emma's statement, and with Patricia's legal weight behind it, the temporary restraining order was approved within hours. It would be served to Ryan by end of day. "This is just the beginning," Patricia told Emma as they left. "If he violates it even once, he goes to jail. We're also pursuing cyber-stalking charges for the phone harassment." "I don't know how to thank you," Emma said. "Don't thank me. Thank Mr. Sterling. He's the one who called me at 4 a.m. Patricia smiled. "Though I have to say this is more interesting than his usual contract negotiations." After Patricia left, Marcus drove Emma back to her apartment to get more clothes and her work equipment. "You can stay at my place as long as you need," he said as she packed. "The guest room is yours. I can't impose—" "Emma." He caught her hands, stilling her nervous movements. "You're not imposing. I have a massive apartment with 3 guest rooms I never use. Stay until you feel safe." "Why do you have 3 guest rooms?" "Poor planning. I bought the place thinking I'd have family visiting all the time. Turns out my family prefers hotels." He smiled wryly. "So really, you're doing me a favor, making the space useful." Emma looked at him, this man who'd upended his entire life to help her. "What's the catch?" "No catch. There's always a catch." "Okay, fine. The catch is, you have to help me learn to cook something besides eggs. I'm tired of takeout." He grinned. "Deal?" Despite everything, she laughed. "Deal." They spent the rest of the day moving her essential things to his penthouse. Marcus insisted on hiring movers for the larger items, storing them until she decided what to do about her apartment. "I can't break my lease," she worried. "Your landlord will understand given the circumstances. If not, Patricia will explain it to them." He carried a box of her art supplies. "Where do you want to set up your workspace?" "Marcus, I can't just move into your apartment." "Why not? You need somewhere safe. I have space. It's logical." He paused. "Unless you're uncomfortable, I can get you a hotel." "No, it's not that. It's just, we met yesterday." "Best day I've had in years," he said simply. "Look, no pressure. Stay a few days, see how it goes. If you hate it, we'll find you somewhere else safe. But for now, let me help, please." The please got her. This powerful man who commanded boardrooms and had lawyers on speed dial, saying please like her comfort mattered more than anything. "Okay," she said. "A few days." That evening, they ordered Thai food and ate on his balcony, the city spread below them like a glittering map. "Tell me about your company," Emma said. "You've been mysteriously vague." "It's boring." "I'll be the judge of that." He sighed. "I started a tech company in college. Enterprise software. Very unsexy, but very profitable. We went public 5 years ago." "What's it called?" "Sterling Solutions." Emma nearly choked on her pad thai. "Sterling Solutions? The Sterling Solutions? The company that just bought that huge building downtown?" "That would be us." "Marcus, that's $1 billion company." $2 billion actually, but who's counting?" He said it casually like he was discussing the weather. "You're..." She stared at him. "You're actually Marcus Sterling, the Marcus Sterling, the one who was on the cover of Forbes last month. You saw that terrible photo, they made me wear a tie." "Oh my God." She put down her chopsticks. "I hugged a billionaire." "You hugged a guy drinking coffee who happened to be in the right place." He leaned forward. "I'm still that guy, Emma, just with a fancier apartment, and a lawyer on speed dial, and a penthouse, and a friend who needed help. Everything else is just details." He studied her. "Does it matter? The money?" "I don't know. Maybe?" She was honest. "It's intimidating. Says the woman who grabbed me in a market without knowing anything about me. You weren't intimidated then. I was desperate then. And now? Now I'm confused, grateful, overwhelmed." She met his eyes. "Trying to understand why someone like you would drop everything to help someone like me." "Someone like you?" He looked genuinely puzzled. "You mean someone brave, creative, funny, resilient? Someone who makes me laugh and forget about spreadsheets? Yeah, real mystery why I'd want to help." "Marcus, I like you, Emma." He said it simply, directly. Not in a creepy, "I helped you so you owe me" way, just, "I like you. I liked you from the moment you crashed into my Saturday morning. I like how you see the world, how you make jokes when you're nervous, how you trusted me even when you were terrified. I like you too, she admitted, but this is complicated. Everything worth doing is complicated. He reached across the table, took her hand. Look, I know the timing is terrible. You're dealing with a stalker ex, you're staying in my guest room, the power dynamic is all weird, but I can't pretend I don't feel something here. I feel it too. Her voice was barely a whisper. But I just got out of a toxic relationship. I don't trust my judgment. What if I'm just latching onto you because you make me feel safe? Then we go slow, we figure it out. He squeezed her hand. I'm not going anywhere, Emma. Whatever you need, friend, protector, roommate who can't cook, I'm here. What if I need all of those things? Then you get all of those things. He smiled. Plus access to my Netflix password. I have all the streaming services. She laughed, the tension breaking. Well, if Netflix is involved, I'm very persuasive. They stayed on the balcony talking until late, carefully navigating the line between friendship and something more. Marcus told her about growing up with money but emotionally distant parents, how building his company had been about proving himself more than wealth. Emma shared her art school dreams, her family's expectations, how she'd lost herself in Ryan's demands. He convinced me my art wasn't good enough, she admitted, said I should focus on more practical design work. Is that why you do logos instead of what you love? How do you know logos aren't what I love? Because your face changes when you talk about real art. You light up. He stood. Come on, show me your portfolio. Now? Why not? We've got Netflix and nowhere to be tomorrow. She retrieved her laptop, shyly showing him her personal work, the paintings and illustrations she'd hidden away after Ryan's criticism. Marcus studied each piece seriously, asking questions about technique and inspiration. These are incredible, he said finally. Why aren't you showing these in galleries? Because they're not. If you say good enough, I'm banning you from Thai food. He turned the laptop to face her. Look at this objectively. Pretend it's someone else's work. What would you say? She looked at the painting on screen, a piece she'd done right before meeting Ryan, all bold colors and emotion. I'd say it's brave. Exactly, so be brave. He closed the laptop. There's a gallery opening next week. One of my clients owns it. Come with me. As your date. As my friend who happens to be an artist. We'll network. You'll see what's out there. He paused. Unless you want it to be a date. I don't know what I want, she said honestly. That's okay. We'll figure it out as we go. He stood. It's late. You should get some sleep. Marcus? She caught his hand as he passed. Thank you. For everything. For being patient with my mess. Everyone has mess, Emma. Yours just has a restraining order now. He squeezed her hand. Sweet dreams. The next few days fell into an unexpected rhythm. Marcus left early for work, but always made coffee first, leaving her cute notes by the machine. Emma set up her workspace in one of the spare rooms, the natural light perfect for design work. She'd been nervous about staying there alone, but the building's security was Fort Knox level, and Marcus texted throughout the day. How's the logo coming? He'd ask. Or, George says you haven't left for lunch. Eat something. You have your doorman spying on me. I have my doorman making sure you remember to eat. There's a difference. In the evenings, they'd cook together. Or rather, she'd try to teach him while he made jokes about his culinary incompetence. How do you burn pasta water? Emma asked, staring at the somehow scorched pot. Talent, Marcus said proudly. Pure natural talent. You run a $2 billion company but can't boil water. Different skill sets. He pulled out his phone. Pizza. No, we're trying again. Cooking is not that hard. Says the woman who doesn't have an enemies list of smoke detectors. But he tried again, following her instructions with the same focus he probably brought to board meetings. The pasta turned out edible, if not exceptional. I did it, he held up a forkful triumphantly. I made food. You boiled pasta and heated sauce from a jar. Still counts. He was grinning like a kid. Next week we attempt vegetables. Slow down there, Gordon Ramsay. It was domestic and comfortable and dangerous. Emma could feel herself falling into the rhythm of life with Marcus, could imagine too easily how this could become permanent. But every time she started to overthink it, he'd do something to make her laugh, bringing her back to the moment. The restraining order was served to Ryan on a Tuesday. Emma knew because he immediately started calling from blocked numbers, leaving voicemails that Patricia documented for the criminal case. "You think you're so smart," one message said. "Getting your rich boyfriend to protect you, but he won't always be around." Marcus listened to the messages with a stone face, then made a call. "Patricia, yeah, he's violating already. File the charges." He paused. "No, I don't care what it costs. I want him arrested." Ryan was picked up that evening. The bail was set high enough that he couldn't pay, meaning he'd sit in jail until the hearing. Emma felt a mix of relief and guilt. "This is my fault," she said, pacing Marcus's living room. "If I hadn't gotten that restraining order, then he'd still be stalking you just without consequences." Marcus caught her shoulders, stilling her. "This is not your fault. None of it. Not the relationship, not the abuse, not his choices now." "But no buts. He's a grown man who chose to violate a legal order. That's on him." His hands were warm through her shirt. "You're safe. That's what matters. Because of you." "Because of you," he corrected. "You got away from him. You asked for help. You stood up to him. I just provided resources. Very expensive resources. Best money I've spent in years." He smiled. "Except maybe for that underground tour. That was quality entertainment." She laughed despite herself. "You're impossible. Impossibly charming? Impossibly handsome? You'll have to be more specific." "Just impossible." But she was smiling now. "There we go. Much better than the pacing." He released her shoulders. "Want to watch a movie? I have all the streaming services, remember?" They ended up on the couch, watching some action movie Marcus had chosen specifically because it required no emotional investment. Somewhere during the second explosion, Emma found herself leaning against him. By the third, his arm was around her. "Is this okay?" he asked quietly. "Yeah," she said. "It's okay. More than okay." It felt right in a way that scared her. Natural. Easy. Like they'd been doing this for years instead of days. When the movie ended, neither of them moved. "Emma," Marcus said softly, "I need to tell you something." Her heart sped up. "What?" "I have a conference in San Francisco this weekend, 3 days." He paused. "I want you to come with me." "Marcus, not like that. Separate rooms, just... I don't want to leave you here alone with everything going on, and I thought maybe a change of scenery would be good. I have work. You can work from anywhere. The hotel has great Wi-Fi." He shifted to look at her. "No pressure, just think about it. A weekend in San Francisco with my billionaire roommate. Very pretty woman. Except you're not a sex worker, and I'm not Richard Gere. You have the hair for it." "I'll take that as a compliment." He tucked a strand of her hair behind her ear. "Think about it?" "Okay," she said, "I'll think about it." But she already knew she'd say yes, because despite every logical reason not to, she trusted Marcus Sterling, and maybe, just maybe, she was starting to trust herself again too. The next morning she found him in the kitchen earlier than usual, wearing a suit that probably cost more than her car. "Big meeting?" she asked, accepting the coffee he handed her. "Board presentation, quarterly reports." He adjusted his tie. "Boring stuff." "You don't look bored. You look nervous." "I don't get nervous." "Liar." She reached up, fixed his slightly crooked tie. "What's really going on?" "We're announcing a new acquisition, big one. The board might revolt." He caught her hands as she finished with the tie. "Thanks. For fixing your tie. For noticing I was nervous." He squeezed her hands. "Most people don't notice anything past the suit. Most people are idiots. Harsh, but fair." He grabbed his briefcase. "About San Francisco." "Yes," she said, before she could overthink it. "I'll come." His smile lit up his whole face. "Really?" "Really. Someone needs to make sure you eat actual food instead of conference room pastries." Very practical. He kissed her forehead, quick and casual like it was normal. I'll book your ticket. First class, okay? Marcus, great. First class it is. He was already heading for the door. I'll be home late. Don't wait up. Eat real food. And then he was gone, leaving Emma touching her forehead where his lips had been, wondering when his penthouse had started feeling like home. If you're enjoying Emma and Marcus's story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Have you ever had someone unexpected change your life completely? Let me know in the comments below. That evening, Emma was sketching when her phone rang. Marcus. How'd the board meeting go? She answered. Terrible. Great. I don't know. He sounded exhausted. They approved the acquisition, but I think I aged 5 years in the process. Where are you? Office, contemplating sleeping on my couch. Don't you dare. Come home. Home. The words slipped out naturally, but she heard his sharp intake of breath. Emma, I made dinner. Well, I ordered dinner. From that Thai place you like. She pushed through the awkwardness. Unless you have more work. No, I'll be home in 20. He made it in 15, looking rumpled and tired, but smiling when he saw her curled up on the couch with takeout containers spread on the coffee table. You waited, he said. You sounded like you needed pad Thai therapy. I need all the therapy. He collapsed next to her, loosening his tie. Tell me something good about your day. I finished 2 logo projects and started a new painting. She handed him chopsticks. Your turn. I saw you this morning. That was good. Smooth talker. I try. He dug into the food with obvious relief. This is perfect. You're perfect. The pad Thai? Sure. Let's go with that. He leaned back, finally relaxing. 3 more days until San Francisco. Are you sure it's okay? Me coming to your work thing? More than okay. You'll be saving me from boring networking dinners. He glanced at her. Fair warning, though. People will assume we're together. Aren't we? The question hung between them. Marcus set down his food, turned to face her fully. Are we? He asked softly. I don't know. Maybe? She met his eyes. I know I feel something. I know you make me feel safe and seen and happy. But I'm scared I'm moving too fast, rebounding, making another mistake. You're not a mistake, Emma. Neither is this. He took her hand. But I understand being scared. We can go as slow as you need. What if I don't know what I need? Then we figure it out together. He brought her hand to his lips, kissed her knuckles gently. I'm not going anywhere. Promise? Promise. He pulled her closer until she was curled against his side. Want to know a secret? Another one. I haven't dated anyone in 2 years. Too busy with work, too picky, I don't know, closed off. He played with her hair absently. Then you literally ran into my life, and suddenly I'm clearing my schedule and learning to cook and thinking about something other than quarterly reports. I disrupted your routine. You disrupted everything, in the best way. He pressed a kiss to the top of her head. So we're both scared. We'll be scared together. They stayed like that, eating Thai food and watching terrible TV, not talking about feelings or the future, just being together. Friday came quickly. Emma had packed and repacked 3 times, unsure what one wore to a tech conference as the maybe girlfriend of the CEO. Clothes, Marcus said helpfully when she asked. I generally recommend clothes. You're hilarious. She threw a shirt at him. Seriously, what's the dress code? Business casual during the day, cocktail for the evening events. He caught the shirt, folded it neatly. But honestly, wear whatever makes you comfortable. You'll look beautiful regardless. You have to say that. No, I really don't. He pulled her away from the closet. Emma, relax. It's just a bunch of tech people talking about cloud computing. You'll be the most interesting person there by default. The flight to San Francisco was Emma's first time in first class. She tried not to gawk at the spacious seats and actual legroom. This is ridiculous, she whispered to Marcus. They gave us warm nuts. The height of luxury, he agreed solemnly. Wait until you see the warm cookies. There are warm cookies? You're adorable. He linked their fingers across the armrest. I fly this route once a month, and I still get excited about the cookies. The hotel was equally ridiculous, a 5-star property with views of the Golden Gate Bridge. Marcus had booked adjoining rooms, maintaining the boundaries they'd agreed on while keeping her close. "Your room is bigger than my apartment," Emma said, staring at the suite. "Our rooms connect through here." Marcus showed her the door between them. "I'll leave it unlocked on my side. You can lock yours or not, whatever makes you comfortable." Very respectful. "I have my moments." He checked his watch. "I have a meeting in an hour. Want to explore the city? Or you could work here." "I'll explore." She needed to move, to process being here with him. "Any recommendations?" "There's an art museum 2 blocks away. Several galleries in the area too." He pulled out his phone, texted her a list. "Or just wander. The neighborhood's safe." An hour later, Emma found herself in a small gallery, staring at paintings that weren't much better than her own hidden portfolio. The price tags, however, were astronomical. "Finding anything you like?" The gallery owner, an elegant woman in her 50s, approached. "They're interesting," Emma said diplomatically. "Interesting. The polite word for overpriced and underwhelming." The woman smiled. "You're an artist. How did you know?" "The way you look at the brushwork instead of the whole. Professional habit." She extended a hand. "Diana Chen, I own this establishment." "Emma Chen. No relation, despite the name." "Pity. I could use more Chens in my life." Diana studied her. "Are you showing anywhere?" "No, I mostly do commercial work. Design." "But that's not what you love." It wasn't a question. "Do you have a portfolio?" Emma found herself pulling out her phone, showing this stranger the photos of her real work. Diana studied each piece carefully, asking technical questions that showed she knew her stuff. "These are good," Diana said finally. "Really good. Why aren't you painting full-time? Bills? Life? Practical things?" "Ah, yes, the eternal artistic struggle." Diana pulled out a card. "I'm having a group show next month. New artists. If you have 3 pieces ready, I'd like to include you." "Are you serious?" "I never joke about art." "Well, rarely." Diana smiled. "Think about it. Call me either way." Emma left the gallery in a daze, Diana's card burning a hole in her pocket. She wandered the city, mind spinning with possibilities. Could she really show her work? Was she ready? Her phone buzzed. "Marcus, how's the exploring? Find anything good?" "Maybe," she typed back. "Tell you at dinner." "Can't wait. Meeting's running long but should be done by 6. Pick you up at 7. "It's a date." "Is it?" Even in text she could hear his playful tone. "Yes," she wrote, making the decision. "It's a date." His response was just heart emojis, which made her laugh. Billionaire CEO Marcus Sterling used heart emojis. She dressed carefully that evening, choosing a black dress that was elegant without trying too hard. When Marcus knocked on the connecting door, she was ready. "Wow," he said, taking her in. "You look... wow. You're very articulate for a CEO." "You broke my brain, it's a talent." He was in a dark suit without a tie, looking unfairly handsome. "Ready?" Dinner was at a small Italian place, intimate and quiet. Marcus had made reservations but seemed nervous, fidgeting with his water glass. "Okay, what's wrong?" Emma asked after he'd rearranged his silverware for the 3rd time. "Nothing's wrong." "Marcus," he sighed, "this is our first real date. I want it to be perfect." "It's already perfect. We're here, there's pasta, you're not wearing a tie, all perfect things." "I usually wear ties, which is why not wearing one is perfect." She reached across the table, stilled his nervous hands. "Relax, it's just me." "That's the point, it's you." He turned his hands to hold hers. "I really like you, Emma. I really like you too." She took a breath. "Actually, I more than like you." "Which terrifies me." "Good terrified or bad terrified?" "Good, I think. Like roller coaster terrified instead of horror movie terrified." "I can work with roller coasters." He smiled, that dimple appearing. "Tell me about your gallery adventures." She told him about Diana, about the possible show. His face lit up with genuine excitement. "Emma, that's incredible. You have to do it. It's scary. What if no one likes them? What if everyone loves them? What if this is the start of everything you've dreamed about?" He squeezed her hands. "You can't live in the what-ifs. Trust me, I've tried. It's exhausting." Says the man who plans everything. Said the man who's learning not to. He brought her hands to his lips. "You've been good for me, Emma Chen. You've made me remember there's life outside spreadsheets. You've been good for me too. You made me remember I'm worth protecting. Worth more." "You're worth everything," he said simply. The waiter appeared with their food, breaking the moment. But the warmth remained through dinner, through shared pasta and stolen bites and stories about their days. "I have a confession," Marcus said over dessert. Tiramisu they were sharing. "I hate tech conferences." "Then why do you go?" "Because it's expected. Because deals get made over boring cocktails. Because I built this company, and sometimes that means doing things I hate." He offered her another bite. "But having you here makes it bearable. Happy to be your conference buffer." "You're more than that." He set down the spoon, serious now. "Emma, I know we said slow, and I respect that. But I need you to know this isn't casual for me. You aren't casual for me." "You're not casual for me either," she admitted. "That's what scares me. It's been 2 weeks, Marcus. 2 weeks, and I'm already what?" "Falling for you," she whispered. "Which is insane and too fast, and probably just because you saved me." "Hey." He moved to the chair beside her, cupped her face gently. "Look at me. You're not falling for me because I helped you. If anything, I'm falling for you because you let me help, because you trusted a stranger, because you make me laugh and think and want things I'd given up on." "Marcus, we can still go slow. We can take all the time you need. But don't diminish what this is." He stroked her cheek. "It's not too fast if it's right." "Is it right?" "Feels right to me." He leaned closer. "But then, I'm the guy who cleared his schedule for a stranger, so my judgment might be questionable." She laughed, the tension breaking. Terrible judgment. The worst. The absolute worst. He was so close now. "Emma? Yeah? I really want to kiss you right now." "Okay," she breathed. "Okay?" Instead of answering, she closed the distance between them. The kiss was soft, tentative at first, then deeper as she melted into him. He tasted like wine and tiramisu and possibility. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, he rested his forehead against hers. "Still scared?" he asked. "Terrified," she admitted, "but good terrified, roller coaster terrified." "I can work with that." He kissed her again, quick and sweet. "Ready to go back?" "Not really. Can we walk for a bit?" They strolled through the city hand in hand, talking about everything and nothing. Marcus pointed out buildings his company had worked with, told her stories about his early days in San Francisco trying to get funding. "Everyone thought I was too young," he said, 22 with big dreams and no experience. "But you did it anyway." "Too stubborn to quit." He swung their joined hands. "Plus, I had something to prove. Parents who thought business was beneath our family's academic standards. They must be proud now. They're confused now. All that money and I still can't find a wife." He winced. "Sorry, that was honest. It's okay." She squeezed his hand. "My parents ask when I'm giving them grandchildren every call. Parents are fun. The best." She spotted a street artist doing portraits. "Oh, we should get one." "Really?" "Come on, live a little." She pulled him toward the artist. "When's the last time you did something touristy? Besides fake dating you at Pike Place?" "Besides that, I honestly can't remember." "Then we're definitely doing this." The artist was talented, capturing not just their features but something essential, the way Marcus looked at her, the way she leaned into him without thinking. When it was done, Emma stared at the portrait in wonder. "We look," she started. "Happy," Marcus finished. "We look happy." Yeah, we do. Back at the hotel, they stood awkwardly between their doors. Thank you for tonight, Emma said, for dinner and the walk and everything. Thank you for making it a real date. He tucked her hair behind her ear. Sleep well. Breakfast tomorrow? Wouldn't miss it. He kissed her goodnight, soft and lingering, then went to his room. Emma changed into pajamas, washed her face, tried to calm her racing heart. She'd just admitted to falling for him. He'd admitted the same. Everything was changing so fast. Her phone buzzed. Marcus. Left my side unlocked if you need anything. Sweet dreams, Emma. She stared at the connecting door for a long moment, then typed back, leaving mine unlocked too, just in case. Just in case, came his reply, followed by heart emojis. Emma fell asleep smiling, the portrait from the street artist propped on her nightstand, evidence that happiness was possible, that second chances existed, that sometimes the best things came from the worst moments. She woke to soft knocking on the connecting door. Emma, Marcus's voice concerned. You okay? It's past 10. 10? She never slept that late. I'm fine, just overslept. Can I come in? Sure. She sat up, tried to smooth her bedhead. He entered carrying a tray of coffee and pastries. Room service. Figured you might need caffeine before facing the day. You're wonderful. She accepted the coffee gratefully. What time's your conference thing? Not until 2. We have the morning free. He sat on the edge of her bed, casual intimacy that made her heart skip. How'd you sleep? Better than I have in months. Good. He studied her face. Any regrets about last night? The date? The kiss? The feelings talk? No regrets. You? Only that I have to spend the afternoon talking about cloud infrastructure instead of with you. He stole a piece of her croissant. What will you do? Work on some designs, maybe visit Diana's gallery again. She made a decision. I think I'm going to do the show. Really? His face lit up. Emma, that's amazing. It's terrifying. The best things usually are. He kissed her, tasting like coffee and possibility. I'm proud of you. Those words from him made her eyes burn. I should probably do the work before you get proud. Too late. Already proud. He stood reluctantly. I should shower. Get ready for corporate nonsense. Marcus, she caught his hand. Thank you for believing in me, for seeing me as more than I see myself. Same goes for you, you know. You see past all this, he gestured at the luxury suite, to who I really am. That's rare. You're rare, she said softly. He kissed her again, deeper this time, then pulled away with obvious effort. Keep that up and I'll skip the conference entirely. Go, be a CEO. I'll be here when you get back. Promise? Promise. After he left, Emma worked on her designs, but her mind kept drifting to the gallery show. 3 pieces in a month. She could do it. She had to do it. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Her blood went cold. Ryan, but she answered anyway. Emma Chen? A woman's voice, unfamiliar. Yes? This is Officer Martinez with Seattle PD. I wanted to update you on your case. Ryan Morrison made bail this morning. The coffee turned to acid in her stomach. What? How? His family posted it. He's been ordered to stay away from you and he's wearing an ankle monitor. But I wanted you to know. Will he come after me? The monitor will alert us if he goes near your apartment or workplace. Where are you now? San Francisco. With a friend. Good. Stay there if you can. We're building a solid case, but it takes time. Emma hung up, hands shaking. Ryan was out, free, probably furious. She knocked on the connecting door. Marcus answered immediately, shirt half buttoned. What's wrong? He took one look at her face and pulled her into his arms. Emma, what happened? Ryan made bail, she whispered into his chest. He's out. His arms tightened. Okay, we'll handle this. He pulled back, cupped her face. You're safe. He doesn't know you're here. And even if he did, he'd have to get through me. I'm scared. I know. But you're not alone. He kissed her forehead. Change of plans. You're coming to the conference with me. Marcus, I can't. Yes, you can. I'll introduce you as my girlfriend, real girlfriend, and you'll charm everyone while I pretend to care about server optimization. His thumbs stroked her cheeks. I'm not leaving you alone, not today. I don't have conference clothes. Then we'll go shopping. The sessions don't start until 2. He was already reaching for his phone. I'll cancel my lunch meeting. You can't just cancel. Watch me. He was texting rapidly. There, cancelled. Get dressed. We're having a shopping and distraction adventure. I don't need... Emma. He set down his phone, took her hands. Let me do this. Let me take care of you. Please. The please got her. It always did. An hour later, they were in Union Square, Marcus insisting on buying her conference-appropriate outfits despite her protests. Think of it as a business expense, he said, handing her another dress to try. You're saving me from boring conversations. That's valuable. Your accounting department will love that logic. I am the accounting department. Well, I sign their checks anyway. He held up a blazer. This? Too formal. You're right. My girlfriend would never wear something that stuffy. He said it casually, but the word girlfriend made them both pause. Is that what I am? Emma asked softly. Your girlfriend? I'd like you to be. He set down the blazer, faced her fully. If you're ready for that. What happened to going slow? Slow is relative. We can be together and still take things at your pace. He stepped closer. But I want to call you mine. Want everyone to know you're with me. Is that okay? More than okay. She went up on her toes, kissed him in the middle of Nordstrom. Girlfriend it is. Best shopping trip ever, he murmured against her lips. They found the perfect outfit, professional but still her. Marcus insisted on shoes and jewelry too, waving off her protests about cost. Emma, I have more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. Let me use some of it to make you smile. I don't want to be that girl, the one who's with you for... Stop. He caught her face in his hands. You hugged me before you knew who I was. You liked me when you thought I was just some guy at a coffee stand. You're not that girl. You never could be. The conference was exactly as boring as Marcus had predicted, but having Emma there transformed it. She charmed everyone she met, asking intelligent questions that showed she'd actually listened to their tech babble. During his presentation, she sat in the front row, giving him encouraging smiles whenever he looked her way. That's the Marcus Sterling? He heard someone whisper. With a girlfriend? An actual human girlfriend? She's lovely, someone else replied. He looks... happy. He was happy, Marcus realized, happier than he'd been in years, all because a terrified woman had hugged him in a market 2 weeks ago. After the sessions, there was a cocktail reception. Marcus kept Emma close, introducing her proudly, his hand never leaving her back. You were amazing, Emma said during a quiet moment. I had no idea what you were talking about, but you made cloud infrastructure sound almost interesting. Almost interesting, I'll take it. He snagged 2 glasses of champagne from a passing waiter. How are you doing, really? Better. Being here helps. Being with you helps. She sipped her champagne. Is it always like this, people wanting your attention? Usually worse, but having you here makes them keep their distance a bit. They're all too curious about you to mob me with questions. Happy to be your human shield. Turnabout's fair play. He kissed her temple. Want to get out of here? We've made enough of an appearance. God, yes. These shoes are killing me. They escaped to the hotel, Emma immediately kicking off the heels with a grateful sigh. How do people wear those all day? Practice and masochism. Marcus loosened his tie. Hungry? We could order room service. Starving. That reception food was basically garnish. They ordered too much food and ate in Marcus's suite, the city lights twinkling below. Emma had changed into casual clothes, curled up beside him on the couch. Thank you for today, she said. For distracting me, for the clothes, for introducing me as your girlfriend to everyone. Thank you for coming, for trusting me, for making that conference bearable. He played with her hair. I have to go back tomorrow for the closing sessions. Will you come again? If you want me there. I always want you there. The words came out more intense than he'd intended. I mean, I know what you mean. She kissed him softly. I feel the same way. They stayed on the couch talking until late, carefully not addressing the elephant in the room. That Ryan was out, that they'd have to go back to Seattle tomorrow night. That real life was waiting. We should sleep, Marcus said finally. Early flight tomorrow. I don't want to be alone, Emma admitted quietly. Would it be okay if I stayed here just to sleep? Of course. He stood, pulled her up with him. You can have the bed. I'll take the couch. Marcus, this bed is enormous. We can share without... I just need to not be alone. Okay, he said softly. Whatever you need. They got ready for bed with careful politeness, Marcus lending her one of his t-shirts to sleep in. The bed was indeed enormous, plenty of room for space between them. But Emma found herself moving closer, seeking his warmth. Is this okay? She whispered. Perfect, he whispered back, arm coming around her. Sleep, Emma. You're safe. She fell asleep to the sound of his heartbeat, feeling protected for the first time since that morning's phone call. The flight home Sunday evening was quiet. Reality was settling back in, the bubble of San Francisco bursting. Emma stared out the window, trying not to think about Ryan out there somewhere, angry and unpredictable. Hey, Marcus said softly, taking her hand. We're going to be okay. Are we? Yes. Patricia's working on upgrading the restraining order. I've hired a security firm to watch your apartment building, and you're staying with me as long as you want. I can't hide in your penthouse forever. Why not? I have great Wi-Fi and terrible cooking skills. You'd be doing me a favor. Despite everything, she smiled. You're impossible. Impossibly protective, maybe. He squeezed her hand. Emma, I know this is scary, but you're not facing it alone. Not anymore. What did I do to deserve you? You hugged a stranger, he said simply. Best thing that ever happened to me. Back in Seattle, the rain was falling steadily. Marcus drove them home, and it was home now, Emma realized. Somewhere in the last 2 weeks, his penthouse had become her safe haven. George the doorman greeted them warmly. Welcome back, Mr. Sterling, Ms. Chen. I trust your trip was pleasant? Very pleasant, George. Thank you. Marcus handed him their bags. Any issues while we were gone? No, sir. Though there was a gentleman asking about Ms. Chen yesterday. I followed protocol. No information given. Emma's blood ran cold. What did he look like? George described Ryan perfectly. I have security footage if you need it. Please send it to my email, Marcus said tightly. And George, if he comes back, call the police immediately. Of course, sir. In the elevator, Emma was shaking. He knows where I am. He knows where you might be. Big difference. Marcus pulled her close. The building has excellent security. He can't get in. But what if? No what ifs. We deal with facts. Fact. He violated the restraining order by coming here. Fact. Patricia will have him arrested again tomorrow. Fact. You're safe with me. How are you so calm? Because one of us needs to be, and you've been strong enough already. The elevator opened to the penthouse. Come on, let's get inside. Emma went straight to the windows, looking down at the street below. Was Ryan down there watching? Waiting? Hey, Marcus said gently, closing the blinds. Don't do that to yourself. I hate this. Hate being afraid, hate that he still has this power over me. Then let's take the power back. Marcus pulled out his phone. Patricia, sorry to call so late. We have a problem. He explained the situation while Emma paced. She could hear Patricia's voice, sharp and competent, already making plans. First thing tomorrow, Marcus said when he hung up. She'll file for an emergency hearing. With the security footage, he'll be back in jail by noon. And then he'll make bail again. Not this time. Second violation with video evidence? No judge will grant bail. He caught her hands, stilled her pacing. We're going to end this, Emma. I promise. You can't promise that. Watch me. His eyes were fierce. I protect what's mine, and you're mine now. Yours, she echoed softly. If you want to be. Despite everything, vulnerability crept into his voice. I know this is all too much, too fast. If you need space. She kissed him, cutting off his words. I don't need space. I need you. You have me, he promised against her lips. Completely. They held each other in the living room, rain pattering against the windows, the city lights blurred through the water. Safe in his arms, Emma could almost believe everything would be okay. I should work on my pieces, she said eventually, for the gallery show. Now? I need to do something with all this nervous energy. Besides, stress has always made me creative. Then let's set up a proper studio. Marcus was already moving, shifting furniture. This room gets the best light. We can move the guest bedroom furniture, get you easels, supplies. Marcus, I can't take over your guest room. Why not? No one uses it. And my girlfriend needs a studio. He grinned at her expression. What? You think I'd date an artist and not give her space to create? You're ridiculous. Ridiculously supportive. There's a difference. They spent the next hour rearranging the space, Marcus following her directions with enthusiasm. By the time they finished, she had a makeshift studio with perfect natural light. It's perfect, she said, surveying the space. You're perfect. He wrapped his arms around her from behind. Paint something beautiful, I'll order dinner. You're not going to watch? Artists need privacy to create. I'll be in my office pretending to work while actually thinking about you. Smooth talker. Only with you. He kissed her neck, then left her to create. Emma stared at the blank canvas for a long moment, then began to paint. All her fear, anger, hope, and newfound love poured onto the canvas in bold strokes. She lost herself in the work, barely noticing when Marcus brought her food, when the rain stopped, when the city lights grew brighter against the dark sky. Emma. Marcus's voice, gentle. It's past midnight. She stepped back, blinking. The painting was raw, emotional, powerful, a figure breaking free from shadows into light. It's incredible, Marcus breathed, studying it. Is this how you feel? How I want to feel, she corrected. Free, unafraid, whole. You'll get there, you're already halfway. He pulled her against him. Come to bed, real bed, not the couch you're eyeing. I'm covered in paint. So shower. I have excellent water pressure. Are you propositioning me, Mr. Sterling? I'm offering you hot water and expensive shampoo, Miss Chen. What you read into that is on you. She laughed, the sound surprising her. How could she laugh with everything happening? But Marcus made it easy, made her remember joy was still possible. After her shower, she found him already in bed, reading on his tablet. He'd left her favorite side. How did he know she had a favorite side? And looked up with a smile when she entered. Better? Much? She slid in beside him, immediately curling close. What are you reading? Quarterly reports. Thrilling stuff. On a Sunday night? I'm behind from playing hooky all weekend. But he set the tablet aside, focusing on her. How are you doing, really? Scared, angry, but also, she searched for words, hopeful, like maybe this is the storm before everything gets better. It is, he said firmly. Tomorrow, Patricia will handle Ryan. You'll paint more incredible pieces. I'll pretend to understand art while being secretly awed by your talent. You understand plenty. I understand that you're extraordinary. He kissed her softly. Sleep. Tomorrow's a big day. But sleep didn't come easily. Emma lay awake listening to Marcus's breathing, mind racing with what-ifs. What if the judge didn't revoke bail? What if Ryan found a way around the restraining order? What if... Stop thinking so loud, Marcus murmured, pulling her closer. Whatever you're worried about, we'll handle it together. How did you know I was awake? Your breathing changes when you're anxious. He pressed a kiss to her hair. Talk to me. I'm scared he'll win. That he'll find a way to hurt me or you, or... He won't. You can't know that. I can, and I do. Marcus shifted to look at her in the dim light. Emma, I've built a company from nothing. I've fought bigger battles than one pathetic ex-boyfriend. He doesn't get to win, not against us. Us, she repeated softly. Us, he confirmed. Now sleep. You need energy for all the winning we're doing tomorrow. This time she did sleep, safe in his certainty that together they were stronger than any threat. Morning came with Marcus already up, dressed in what Emma was beginning to recognize as his battle armor, his sharpest suit, his most expensive watch. Going to war? She asked sleepily. In a way. He brought her coffee, perfectly prepared. Patricia will be here in an hour. We're going to the courthouse together. I have to go. You don't have to do anything. But it would help if the judge sees the impact this is having. He sat on the bed beside her. I'll be right there with you. Promise? Always. An hour later, Patricia arrived looking like legal vengeance in heels. She laid out the plan with military precision. File the violation, present evidence, push for immediate arrest. With Mr. Sterling's testimony and the security footage, we have an airtight case, she said. He approached your residence, clear violation. The judge will have no choice. What if his family posts bail again? They won't get the chance. Second violation means no bail hearing. Patricia's smile was sharp. He's going away, Emma. I promise you that. The courthouse was intimidating, all marble and authority, but Marcus never left her side, his presence a constant comfort. When they entered the courtroom, Emma's heart nearly stopped. Ryan was there, looking haggard and angry. His eyes found hers immediately, full of rage and something else, desperation. Don't look at him, Marcus murmured. He doesn't exist. Just focus on me. The hearing was quicker than Emma expected. Patricia presented the evidence with devastating efficiency. The security footage was damning. Ryan clearly at the building, asking about Emma, trying to gain entry. Your Honor, Patricia said, this is a clear pattern of escalation. Mr. Morrison cannot and will not respect the court's orders. We request immediate revocation of bail and criminal prosecution for stalking. Ryan's lawyer tried to argue, but the judge cut him off. I've seen enough. Bail is revoked. Mr. Morrison will remain in custody pending trial. The gavel came down with finality. Emma sagged with relief as officers moved to take Ryan into custody. But as they led him past, he lunged toward her. This isn't over, he shouted. You're mine, Emma. You'll always be. Marcus moved faster than Emma had ever seen, putting himself between them as officers wrestled Ryan back. You're done, Marcus said, voice deadly calm. You'll never touch her again. Ryan was dragged out screaming threats that Patricia carefully documented for additional charges. Emma stood frozen until Marcus's arms came around her. It's over, he murmured. He's gone. You're safe. Is it really over? The restraining order is permanent. He's facing serious jail time. Yes, it's over. He pulled back to look at her. You're free, Emma. Free. The word hit her like a physical force. She was free. Ryan couldn't hurt her anymore, couldn't control her life from the shadows. I don't know what to do with free, she admitted. Then we'll figure it out together. Marcus smiled, that dimple appearing. Starting with lunch. Victory makes me hungry. They ate at a little cafe near the courthouse, Emma still processing what had happened. Patricia joined them, full of plans for the criminal trial. With everything we have, he's looking at 2 to 5 years, she said. Maybe more if we can prove the cyber-stalking. Years, Emma repeated. He'll be gone for years, at minimum. And when he gets out, the permanent restraining order remains in effect. 1 violation, and he's back inside. Patricia's expression softened. You can have your life back, Emma. After Patricia left, Marcus and Emma walked through the city. The rain had stopped, weak sunlight breaking through the clouds. How do you feel? Marcus asked. Like I can breathe again. Like the world is suddenly bigger. She stopped walking, turned to face him. Thank you. For everything. For being my shield, my strength, my partner, he finished. That's what we are, Emma. Partners. I love you, she said suddenly, the words escaping before she could stop them. I know it's too soon and too much, but I love you, Marcus Sterling. his face transformed with joy. I love you too, Emma Chen. Have since you hugged me in that market. That was 3 weeks ago. Best 3 weeks of my life. He kissed her there on the sidewalk, not caring who saw. So what now? Now that you're free? Now I paint. I show my work. I stop hiding. She grinned. I teach my boyfriend to cook something besides eggs. Ambitious goals. I'm an ambitious woman. She took his hand. Let's go home. I have art to create. Home, he repeated with satisfaction. I like the sound of that. They walked back to the penthouse hand in hand, Emma feeling lighter with each step. Ryan was gone. The fear was lifting. And she had Marcus, wonderful, protective, loving Marcus, by her side. Move in with me, he said suddenly as they entered the building. Officially, not just staying because you need protection, but because we want to live together. Marcus, I know it's fast. Everything with us has been fast. But I can't imagine my apartment without your art supplies everywhere and your coffee mug next to mine. He stopped in the lobby, taking both her hands. Move in with me, Emma. Make it our home, not just mine. George the doorman pretended not to watch, but Emma caught his smile. Yes, she said, surprising herself with how easy the answer came. Yes, I'll move in with you. Marcus whooped, actually whooped, and spun her around right there in the lobby. George applauded, making Emma laugh. Congratulations, Miss Chen, Mr. Sterling, George said warmly. About time, if I may say so. You may, Marcus grinned. You absolutely may. In the elevator, he couldn't stop smiling. We need to get your things from your apartment. And furniture, you should pick furniture, make the place yours too. Our place, she corrected. Our place. He kissed her as the doors opened. I loved the sound of that. The next few weeks flew by in a blur of change. Emma threw herself into painting, creating piece after piece for Diana's show. Marcus would find her in her studio at all hours, covered in paint and utterly absorbed. You need to eat, he'd say, bringing her sandwiches. You need to learn to cook more than sandwiches, she'd counter, one skill at a time. They moved her belongings from her apartment, Emma finally able to enter without fear. Marcus helped her pack, treating her possessions with care. This is terrible, he said, holding up a painting she'd done in college. That's my early work. It's terrible and I love it. It's going in our bedroom. It is not. It is. I want to see your evolution. Plus, it'll remind me that everyone starts somewhere. They compromised. The painting went in his office, where he claimed it inspired him during boring conference calls. Emma met his sister, Claire, who arrived for dinner one night with wine and 1,000 questions. So you're the woman who got my brother to leave his office before 9 p.m., Claire said, hugging Emma immediately. I need to know everything. There's not much to tell, Emma said. She hugged me in a market to escape her stalker ex, Marcus supplied helpfully. Marcus? What? It's a great story, he grinned. Very romantic. That's the most Marcus way to meet someone ever, Claire laughed. Solving problems, being protective. Did he try to create a spreadsheet for your relationship? Not yet, Emma said, though he did make a color-coded calendar for my art show prep. I'm helpful, Marcus protested. Your type A is what you are, Claire said fondly, but it works for you. Dinner was wonderful, Claire regaling Emma with embarrassing stories about Marcus's childhood. He once tried to reorganize Mom's spice rack by alphabetical order and frequency of use, Claire revealed, with a full spreadsheet. I was 12 and it was more efficient. You were a weird kid, Claire said, but you turned out okay. She smiled at Emma. Better than okay now. After Claire left, Emma found Marcus doing dishes, a skill he'd finally mastered. Your sister's wonderful, she said, wrapping her arms around him from behind. She liked you. I could tell. He turned in her arms. She said you're good for me. Am I? The best thing that's ever happened to me. He kissed her softly. Even better than that early Amazon stock. High praise from a tech billionaire. The highest. The night of the gallery opening arrived faster than expected. Emma stood in their bedroom staring at 3 different dress options. They're all beautiful, Marcus said from the doorway. You'll look amazing in any of them. That's not helpful. The blue one, it matches the painting you're most proud of. He entered the room, already dressed in a dark suit. How are you feeling? Terrified, excited, nauseous. So normal artist feelings. He zipped up the blue dress when she put it on. You're going to be brilliant. Your work is extraordinary. What if no one comes? What if they come and hate it? Impossible. I've already bought half the paintings. Marcus, you can't buy my paintings. Why not? I love them. I want them in our home. He turned her to face him. But I only bought the ones not for sale, the ones of us. She'd painted several pieces inspired by their relationship, abstract representations of safety, growth, love. The thought of selling those had felt wrong. You bought the one from our first night? Especially that one. It's going above our bed. He kissed her forehead. Ready to go be brilliant? The gallery was already crowded when they arrived. Diana met them at the door, beaming. Emma, perfect timing. I've already had inquiries about 3 of your pieces. She air-kissed them both. And Marcus, thank you for the promotion. Your network certainly responded. You promoted my show? Emma turned to him. I may have mentioned it to a few people, art collectors I know. He looked sheepish. Too much? No, perfect. She kissed him quickly. Thank you. The next 2 hours were a whirlwind. People genuinely loved her work, responding to the emotion and story in each piece. Emma found herself talking easily about her inspiration, her journey back to art after years of suppression. This one, a woman said, stopping at a painting of shadows giving way to light. It speaks to me. The emergence from darkness. That was my first piece after leaving an abusive relationship, Emma said honestly. It's about finding yourself again. I'll take it, the woman smiled. I'm a survivor too. This will remind me how far I've come. By the end of the night, Emma had sold 8 paintings and had commissions for 3 more. Marcus stayed by her side throughout, proud but not overbearing, letting her shine. I can't believe it, she said as they finally left. People actually bought my art. Of course they did. You're talented, Emma. The world just needed to see it. He spun her on the sidewalk. How does it feel to be a successful artist? Unreal, amazing, like everything is finally falling into place. She stopped spinning, dizzy with joy and champagne. I love you. I love you too, so much. He pulled her close. Let's go home and celebrate properly. What did you have in mind? Champagne, takeout, and you telling me every detail about every conversation while I stare at you adoringly. Sounds perfect. They were waiting for their Uber when Emma's phone rang. Unknown number. Her blood went cold, but no, Ryan was in jail. She answered cautiously. Hello? Emma, this is Officer Martinez. I wanted to let you know, Ryan Morrison pled guilty today. He got 3 years, no possibility of early release for 2. He pled guilty? His lawyer convinced him it was the best deal he'd get. With all the evidence, a trial would have meant more time. The officer's voice was kind. It's over, Emma. Really over. Emma hung up in a daze. He pled guilty. 3 years. That's wonderful. Marcus hugged her tight. No trial, no having to testify. You're truly free. Free, she repeated, the word finally sinking in. I'm free. They celebrated that night with champagne and Chinese food, Emma still processing how much her life had changed. 6 weeks ago, she'd been hiding, afraid, diminished. Now she was living with the man she loved, showing her art, building the life she'd always wanted. What are you thinking? Marcus asked, finding her on the balcony at midnight. About how sometimes the worst moments lead to the best outcomes. She leaned into him. If Ryan hadn't been at that market, I never would have hugged you. Fate works in mysterious ways. You don't believe in fate. You believe in data and patterns. I believe in us, he said simply. However we found each other. Even though I disrupted all your patterns. Especially because you disrupted them. He turned her to face him. Emma, you saved me too. I was living half a life. Work and schedules and empty success. You made me remember why any of it matters. We saved each other, she said softly. The best relationships do that. He kissed her under the Seattle stars. So what's next? More paintings? Gallery shows? Teaching me to make something besides sandwiches? All of the above. Plus maybe... She hesitated. I've been thinking about teaching art to other survivors, using creativity to heal. That's brilliant. You'd be amazing at that. You think? I know. You're the strongest person I've met, Emma. Sharing that strength, that's beautiful. I love you, she said, overwhelmed by his faith in her. I love you too, forever if you'll have me. Forever sounds about right. They stayed on the balcony, planning their future, dreaming together. The scared woman who'd hugged a stranger in Pike Place was gone, replaced by an artist, a teacher, a partner, a survivor who'd found love in the most unexpected place. 6 months later, Emma stood in her own studio, a real one in the arts district with proper lighting and space for students. Marcus had insisted on funding it, calling it an investment in Seattle's artistic future. You ready? He asked, squeezing her hand. As ready as I'll ever be. Today was the first class of Art After, her program for abuse survivors using art as therapy and expression. 12 women had signed up, each carrying their own stories of survival. You're going to change lives, Marcus said, starting today. No pressure or anything. All the pressure, but you thrive under pressure. He kissed her quickly. I'll pick you up after. We have dinner reservations. Somewhere that requires cooking skills you don't have? I can make pasta now, sort of, sometimes. He grinned. Okay, we're going out, but someday I'll cook you a full meal. I'll believe it when I taste it. He left with another kiss, and Emma faced her empty studio. Soon it would fill with women like her, women who'd lost themselves and were trying to create something new from the pieces. Her phone buzzed, a text from Marcus. You've got this. They're lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have you. Paint something beautiful today. Then another. Also, I may have stress-bought too many art supplies for your students. George is helping me unload them. Emma laughed, love flooding through her. Of course he had. Marcus Sterling, billionaire CEO, carrying canvases and paint sets because he believed in her dream. The door opened and her first student entered, nervous, hopeful, brave. Welcome, Emma said, meaning it with every fiber of her being. Let's create something beautiful. As the studio filled with survivors ready to reclaim their voices through art, Emma thought about that desperate morning in Pike Place. How a moment of terror had led to love, to purpose, to this. Sometimes the best things really did come from the worst moments. Sometimes a desperate hug could change everything. Sometimes love found you when you were brave enough to reach for help. And sometimes happily ever after looked like paint-stained hands, a too generous boyfriend, and a room full of women learning to transform their pain into beauty. Emma smiled and picked up her brush. Time to create something new. What did you think of Emma and Marcus's journey? Have you ever had a chance encounter that changed your life? Drop a comment below and share your story. And if this touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more emotional, romantic stories every week. Remember, sometimes the most beautiful love stories begin in the most unexpected moments. Until next time, keep your hearts open to possibility.